Hey everyone, this is my reaction to the first episode of Seto no Hanayome, also known as My Bride is a Mermaid. Now this show is being reacted to because it won a poll over on my Patreon, and I plan on doing more polls in the future, so if you want to be able to vote on future ones, you can sign up and become a patron over there. And as you can see, I don't get a lot of votes on my Patreon because I'm not very popular, so that for you, that means that your vote probably has more influence. Like with one more vote, Nisekoi would have tied. So yeah, you could have some influence on that for sure. Also, I do early access for the Patreon poll shows if you over on Patreon, so there's that too. But yeah, as far as the show itself goes, all I really know about it is that there's a mermaid in it. I think that more or less encapsulates my knowledge of the show, for sure. So before I get into the reaction itself, though, I do kind of have to explain my reaction format. I do not show the anime footage in the video itself because copyright reasons. And what I do show you, though, is subtitles from the show, as well as a timer down there, so you can get your own copy of it and get it all synced up. The version I'm watching is the Doki fan-subbed Blu-ray version of the show, so that would probably be the ideal one to sync up. So yeah, with all that out of the way, let's get into it. I think this is going to be a pretty fun show, so let's see if that's indeed the case. 3, 2, 1, play. Looks like we're starting at the beach. That seems very logical for a mermaid show. Like, could you imagine just going to the beach and just seeing a mermaid? Like, the best trip to a beach ever. So, is a mermaid gonna be the one that ends up saving him? That would make sense. Also, yeah, leg cramp in the water, that's pretty bad. Always wait half an hour after eating. I think that may be our mermaid. Yep, that's definitely a mermaid tail. It might actually be your lucky day. Just waiting for that hand to swoop in. That is definitely 100% mermaid. And possibly love at first sight. A film? Fulfill his duties. Okay, I misread that. I see. That was quite informative. Okay, so it looks like we may have our opening. Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's really cool. The mermaid cut out. Wow, just air guitar. Okay, I didn't expect that. Yeah, we just straight up have a band. Okay, yeah, that's already a great opening. I already kind of love it. Also, look like a mermaid had legs there, so maybe she can go Little Mermaid on us. Oh wow, she does good in that. Oh, opening sounds oddly familiar. And wow, the dancing animation. It kind of sounds like the Deer's opening, I think. Or ED. I think that's why it sounds familiar. Yeah, that was a top tier opening. I loved it. So, a Yakuza's wife. What? Wait, what? That is something. Are we there yet? No. Are we there yet? No. Yeah, you're young. You have nothing to complain about. Shut up. Fine. Do you have a nickname? Okay. Yeah, I feel like we're like rewinding a bit. I think. Yeah, welcome to the middle of nowhere. Big difference between like Tokyo and not Tokyo when it comes to public transportation. Yeah, you silly city kid, so entitled to your bus times. Are we there yet? Yeah, isn't that pretty cool? Nice view. Yeah, that's really cool. Just, you know, don't fall. Wonder if he met a mermaid when he was younger and just doesn't remember. That'd be something. Meanwhile, we're by the TV. You really should. Really should work on that. I see how it is. Not really feeling the love. Yeah, we're coming to forget those things, Mom. Jeez, ouch. Hey, thanks for the encouragement. I mean, yeah, she's pretty cute. Yeah, aren't you flattered? Such a nice family, isn't it? Stool. Where the girl's kind of cute too. Nothing wrong with that. Someone's got to be excited. I know what the show air is. Thank you, translation note. Yeah, I would assume so. As was I, technically. Barely. Meanwhile, or well, skip forward. Yeah, this is more where we kind of started at. So at least now we know how we got here. Very important information. And really taking a sweet time getting into him, just like doing loops and stuff. Yeah, he almost died, you know, no big deal. He very much almost did. But Dad, I saw a mermaid, you should have been there. Well, after being rescued from drowning, Dad woke up here. Is he gonna speculate a mermaid? I mean, I don't know how serious he is, but... yeah. Of course, it's joking around thing, but little does he know. And is she hiding behind... well, not behind, on... I think she's on the rock. And yeah, she has legs. I guess she can just sprout them whenever. It's pretty useful. Otherwise, yeah, our married life would have to be in the water, which would be interesting. Yeah, I promise it really happened. Kind of like legends about what's it called, Tsuchinoko. Well, Tennant said something about Yakuza, so still thinking about that. Is that the mermaid in question? Yep, she came to visit. Seto's son. Okay. Seto's easy to remember. Well, we just met. Please marry me. That is quite a jump from meeting to marriage proposal, but I guess it made that much of an impression. I mean, it's not really shocking to me because that's kind of the premise of the show. Responsibility. They might take that the wrong way. That could really be taken the wrong way. He literally did nothing wrong. I mean, hands probably did touch in the rescue, so... Yeah, marriage is inevitable. Is that the father? The Yakuza father? Yeah, I think I recognize him from the opening. I remember the hair. A trip underwater? Yeah, that's a little bit intimidating. We don't have a choice, do we? Man just carries two people at once. And this looks kind of like something. Like this is kind of scenario like a dramatic scene from a drama kind of thing, right? The edge of a cliff, jumping off. But this is anime where they can survive that sort of thing. Can he breathe? I mean, he's trying to. Yeah, we're not mermaids. We can't really usually stay underwater unless you do something to them. Can they do that like some kind of mermaid magic power? They can breathe underwater. Play dead. Maybe you won't notice. Oh no. Okay, I'm awake. I'm alive. I'm sorry. Yeah, then she pretends to be dead next. As okay as he can be. Yeah, straight up Yakuza place. No doubt about that. The Seto clan. Fish, okay. Go. Nice to meet you, sir. Just a look on the mother's face. Right, we know that much. But how does that equal marriage, though? The mom is great. Okay, so that's the point of it, right? Because she was seen by him. That makes sense. Yeah, that would make sense with take responsibility, right? I mean, not a bad deal. You get a cute mermaid girl as your wife. There are worse things that could happen to a person in their life. She speaks. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, like he didn't do anything wrong. uh, I think Mariner is the better option. Honestly, that's the one I would vote for. Yeah, I noticed. I kind of noticed that too. The marriage. I don't think he's a big fan of this option. I get that impression. Bump the mic, sorry. Yeah, just become one of us. So yeah, not really much of a choice here. Very much an offer you can't refuse kind of scenario. Yeah, we probably have the parents' blessing at this point. Oh, I didn't know it had such a cooldown. Yeah, what could you possibly have to be dissatisfied with? Yeah, but just look at her. Look at how cute she is. Ow. Oh god, that was close. No, thank you. Flamethrower. Is it just gonna like flood into water? Like, are they underwater right now? Like an underwater house? Looks like it. I don't. Yeah, the flamethrower not so useful now. Shark Fujishiro. Oh god, that's gotta be Shark Fujishiro. Hopefully this place is waterproof. There's a joke there somewhere. So yeah, good thing he can hold his breath decently long. Because apparently mermaids can't give you underwater breathing powers. So how does it become legs, though? Like, is there a cooldown on that? Been an eventful day for this young man. I mean, he did take his daughters, so yeah, probably. Well, she saved your life. Can't just, you know, abandon you. What? Just Sakura petals out of nowhere. Okay. I didn't know that. I don't think it's okay. I think the option that saves you both is the best one. Father found us. Oh god, they're all here. I know that's better or worse than the shark. I think you landed head first, too. I mean, how prepared could you really be to be murdered for doing nothing wrong? Yeah, I might want to accept that marriage proposal right about now. Is this it? There you go. Decision made. And just like that, he can't murder you anymore. Yes, she is. Yeah, I don't think he's accepted it yet. And maybe he might want to chill a bit. Got a lot more than he bargained for. I mean, if you had a mermaid as your wife, you really couldn't go, never really go too far from the ocean, could you? So you might just have to, like, move here permanently. So, is this our ED? It's a big table full of food. Okay, so yeah. At first look at it, he was the only one there, but yeah, you can kind of see more people now. Oh, are they in a karaoke booth? Are they? I mean, it's a lot of food for a karaoke booth, but it kind of looks like it. I mean, because I know karaoke places in Japan, they have like some refreshments and stuff you can buy. I didn't think it was that much stuff, though. I've, of course, never been to one. He's got a, what's it called? Tambourine, I think, or something like it. He's got a musical instrument in his hand. Pretty crazy, isn't it? Is that possible? Asking the important questions. And that is, that's the end of the episode. So, that was the first episode of Seto no Hanayome, or the Bride Mermaid anime, right? And I'd say that was a pretty solid first episode. So, I mean, the show, you can tell it's a bit of an older show for various reasons, right? But yeah, the opening was great for sure. And we started off like right out the gate with showing our mermaid, right? Kind of showing how they meet, which is pretty cool. And then we kind of backtracked to kind of show how we got here, giving us a bit more insight into that for sure. And the parents are fairly entertaining themselves. I especially like the mother. She's quite something for sure. And yeah, he came here to kind of visit the grandmother who lives here. So that's the reason why he's here. And yeah, he went to the water and had a bit of an incident, right? Drowned for some reason. Like, I don't think we even got any specifics on what the issue was, just leg issues. So I guess it doesn't matter too much. The important part is that the mermaid saved his life, and that is kind of what started their connection together. Because he goes back later, was like, "Hey, Dad, Mom, everyone, I totally saw a mermaid. It was great." And then they just like don't believe him because I guess they're just not believers in mermaids. But when the mermaid actually shows up and brings them to the bottom of the sea, and they kind of have no choice but to believe at that point, right? At that point, it's kind of like the evidence is kind of pretty powerful. So, and I knew going into this that it would be a mermaid show. I did not know it would be a mermaid Yakuza show. That was a bit of a surprise. I mean, it said as much in the episode title, right? So at that point it became less surprising, but yeah, just that's as far as brides go. There's a lot of stuff to worry about in regards to that. Like, especially when the father not only is a Yakuza, but like is very much against the marriage. I mean, the whole marriage thing, the reason behind it was because, yeah, mermaid's kind of supposed to be a secret thing, but when you rescue someone, the secret kind of gets exposed. At that point, you kind of got to do something about it, right? So, and the best thing to do about it in this case would be to have the two get married, so he's a member of the group, so him knowing the secret is no longer an issue. Nobody has to get punished, right? It's just like the perfect option, unless you're the father, which does not agree with any of this, right? So he's gonna be an issue going forward. I can imagine a lot of comedy kind of coming from that, right? They're just trying to do date-like things, and the father just like tries to murder him stealthily, right? I can picture that being a thing for sure, because it's going to take a while before he accepts this, for sure. Like, it'll probably happen eventually, but not anytime soon. But yeah, they just kind of went to their house and just dragged them to the sea, brought them to their Yakuza mansion, which I guess is just straight up underwater. Like, we had one scene where he opens the door, water just floods in, and yeah, that can't be good for the house for that to happen. So how do they like go in and out? Like, the house has to be waterproof, like somehow made waterproof for that to be at all viable, because obviously I had to have some way of getting out. I didn't see any special way. Like, you could theoretically have a special area where, kind of like when you're like in outer space, you know, a pressurized or whatever environments, where there's like a specific room that handles that, and then you don't get access to the rest of the place until you've dealt with what's in there. Like, the water could be exited, and then the other, like a room where they open one door, they come in, it shuts, it gets fully sealed, they pump the water out, then the rest of the door opens, and they walk into the place. Like, you could do something like that, and then only that one room would have to be waterproof. But I didn't see anything evidence of that in the episode, so I'm gonna believe that's not a thing. So I guess the house just it can handle water. Fair enough. So I'll not try to think too much on that, because it's really probably not very important. But I mean, the wife for herself, she seems pretty great. Like, we didn't get too much of her really in the episode, but I like her. I like her. She seems nice enough. Obviously a little bit stubborn for sure, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially when that stubbornness was kind of what allowed our protagonist to survive, right? So that's a good thing in this context. So, also, they didn't really explain the tail thing, right? Obviously, she can go from tail to legs somehow, but we didn't see, like, because they escaped, right, together, and then she couldn't run because she had the tail. So that makes me think it's not like an instantaneous turn it off, turn it on kind of thing. So maybe it just takes time. Like, maybe when she comes out of the water, she has to kind of like lay on the beach for a few minutes as legs just kind of form, and then she can walk. Maybe it's something like that. I don't know. Hopefully they kind of explain that, because that actually is a mechanic that is fairly important. So, But I'm pretty sure they did not explain it in the episode unless I missed it. So, yeah, not really too much to say on it. It's, like, obviously they gave us a premise pretty completely in this episode. The man now has a mermaid for a bride that also is part of a Yakuza family. And he has to try to stay alive because the Yakuza father is not the biggest fan of him. And so the rest of the show, I had to imagine, is mostly just those two growing closer while he tries to not die from the father, and also maybe try to, over time, convince him to accept him as his daughter's new husband, right? That's, I imagine, will be kind of the bulk of the show. Just kind of probably some silly shenanigans on that basis. But I quite enjoyed the first episode. I mean, nothing too much to say about the main character. Like, I mean, obviously he ran away a little bit and was a little bit freaked out, but overall he made the right decision, right? When it mattered, he stepped up and said, okay, I'll give me your daughter as a bride, right? He stepped up for that. So he seems like a fairly respectable protagonist so far, from what I can tell. So he didn't, like, let her take the punishment or whatever by herself or whatever, which a lesser person could have done. So, yeah, I'd say he's all right as far as that goes. So, first impression on the show is positive for sure. I quite liked it, and hopefully it continues to be a pretty enjoyable show. I will, of course, continue to react to it. I do react to like 2 episodes a week and make one public on the channel a week. So the Patreon people get that early access, so they're like always an extra episode ahead. Right, so if that interests you, you can do that. But anyway, that's all I really got to say on the episode. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye-bye. Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to Cnouki and Ryan for supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you consider clicking the like button and leaving a comment, because that's a great and easy way to let me know that people want more. If you want to do something big to help the channel, you can support me on Patreon and get nice benefits like early access to certain videos. See you next time.